The sun was setting over the cul-de-sac, casting a golden glow on the modern masterpiece I'd built from the ground up. My name is Marcus Grant, an architectural engineer who'd spent 15 years grinding through late nights and missed holidays to craft a sanctuary for my family. My wife, Lena, a brilliant attorney, and I had dreamed of a home of glass, steel, and warm cedar, designed to catch every ray of light. The crown jewel was our backyard, a sunken patio with a dark-bottomed infinity pool that seemed to melt into a bamboo grove, complete with spa jets, LED lights that could shift from turquoise to magenta, and an outdoor kitchen that hummed with jazz through hidden speakers. This was where our 10-year-old twins, Ethan and Maya, learned to swim, where we'd sip wine under the stars, whispering about the life we'd earned. It was our haven, proof we'd made it against the odds. But across the property line lived the Harrisons. Claire, the self-appointed queen of the neighborhood, her finance bro husband, Paul, and their insufferable college-aged son, Tyler. At first, they seemed harmless, offering stiff smiles and small talk about trash pickup schedules. Then came the paper cuts of prejudice. Claire's comments about my kids' loud laughter on a Saturday afternoon, Paul's skeptical squint when I mentioned my firm. The real blow landed at their annual block party, held on their manicured lawn. I'd just finished explaining a structural feature of our home to a curious neighbor when Claire swooped in, patted my arm, and said with a porcelain-cracking smile, "We're not used to seeing your kind do so well." Lena, quick as ever, raised an eyebrow and shot back. "You mean ambitious, educated people? Because we're used to it." Claire's smile flickered, but she laughed it off, drifting away to prattle about hydrangeas. That moment laid bare who they were, but we thought we could coexist. We were wrong. The world tilted on a sweltering Tuesday in August. I was leading a high-stakes presentation for a downtown museum project, millions on the line, while Lena was out of state on a landmark case. Our nanny, Susan, was with the kids, who were buzzing with excitement for a pool day. I left them in their swim gear, Ethan in trunks, Maya with goggles perched on her head, yelling, "Win the museum, Daddy." The presentation was a triumph, my team celebrating over lunch when my phone buzzed. Susan's voice was frantic. "There's a situation. Tyler Harrison and his friends are in the backyard. He's telling the kids to get out of the pool for his party." My blood ran cold. "Put him on," I said, my voice deadly calm. Tyler's lazy drawl came through, dripping with entitlement. "Look, man, my parents said it's cool. Your kids need to clear out for a few hours. Your nanny's freaking out for nothing." I pictured my twins, confused and scared, being bullied in their own sanctuary. "You're trespassing," I said, my tone low and menacing. "You have 10 seconds to leave before I call the police." He scoffed. "Chill, dude. My mom said you barely use this pool. It's just a party." The audacity, the idea they'd been watching us, judging our homes, lit a fire in me. "Get out now," I seethed. He muttered, "Whatever," and handed the phone back to Susan, who admitted she'd made the kids leave the pool because they were boisterous, and Tyler was insistent. Her bias was clear. A white teenager's whims trumped my black children's safety. "You're fired," I told her, hanging up. The drive home was a blur of rage, every red light a taunt. I burst through the door to find Ethan and Maya on the couch, wrapped in towels, Maya's eyes red from crying, Ethan staring at the floor. "He was mean, Dad," Ethan whispered. "He said the pool wasn't ours today." I hugged them, promising no one could take their home. Susan scurried out, leaving her key. I called the police, expecting justice. Instead, a weary officer ambled up, barely listening as I explained the trespassing. "They're gone now, right? No harm, no foul. Just a neighborly misunderstanding." When I insisted it was a crime, he sighed. "Kids exaggerate. Maybe he just asked to borrow the pool." It was textbook gaslighting, his eyes lingering on my suit, my car, my skin. He scribbled a few notes, suggested I bake cookies to smooth things over, and left without a report number. An hour later, the Harrisons arrived at my door. Claire, Paul, Tyler, and Claire's sister, Diane, a sharper version of her. Paul tried to push past me, but I blocked the doorway. Claire, voice dripping with condescension, said, "I'm shocked you called the police on my son for a misunderstanding." Tyler chimed in, "I just asked them to leave." "Not a big deal." Diane added, "You're new here. In our close-knit community, we share." It was Olympic-level gaslighting, framing Tyler's trespassing as neighborly generosity. Paul claimed Tyler felt threatened by my aggressive tone. I cut through their lies. My kids playing in their pool were a nuisance? Your son trespassing was mature? You've shown me prejudice, not grace. I told them to stay off my property and slammed the door on their stunned faces. The cul-de-sac became a Cold War zone. Tyler cruising by in his leased SUV, smirking. My anger hardened into purpose. The police, the HOASless. The Harrisons' playbook was clear: deny, gaslight, leverage their status. I'd stop playing their game. As an engineer, I break problems into parts. Their unearned privilege was the problem. I needed data to dismantle it. I started watching from my porch at dawn, noting Amazon trucks arriving daily, Tyler's designer clothes, his parade of flashy friends. It screamed excess, beyond Paul's finance salary. Tyler's social media was a shrine to himself, posing with liquor he couldn't legally buy, cars he didn't own, captioned with crypto buzzwords: disrupt the market, DM for gains. It reeked of a scam. I dug deeper, analyzing his posts like zoning records. His clients were freshmen, middle-class kids flaunting small-time wealth. A deleted comment on a boat photo, "You haven't sent my withdrawal confirmation," was my break. I traced the burner account to a freshman, then joined university forums as an anonymous student, asking about investment clubs. Soon, I found Tyler's landing page, a $500 consulting fee for a crypto group promising zero-risk returns. It was a Ponzi scheme, using new investors' money to pay early profits, funneling the rest to Tyler's lifestyle. His private chat had 50 students, their messages shifting from hope to panic. The portal's down. I need my textbook money. Tyler's responses were pure manipulation. Be patient. Spreading FUD gets you kicked. I spent a week documenting everything: screenshots, chat logs, his LLC registered to his parents' address. This wasn't just about the pool anymore. Tyler was a predator. My revenge would be justice, surgical, and devastating. The police would botch it. The media could twist it. Instead, I crafted a three-pronged attack. First, I sent an anonymous letter to the university's dean, posing as a parent, detailing Tyler's fraud with damning evidence. Second, I emailed 50 victims' parents, outing Tyler's scam and listing the Harrisons' address, urging them to demand refunds. Third, I'd ruined Tyler's end-of-summer party, his legendary coronation. The party was days away, a sweltering Saturday. Tyler strutted, directing friends, smirking at my house, believing he'd won. Lena, briefed and thrilled, took the twins to a water park. At 3 p.m., I sent the university email. At 3:30, I launched the parents' emails. For the finale, I used a non-toxic black dye pool party prank. My pool's overflow system, mocked by Paul as overkill, was key. A bypass valve could divert spillover to a percolation field above their pool, unprotected by a proper retaining wall. I poured the dye into the soil, jumped into my pool for a massive cannonball, and watched from my office. Black rivulets snaked down their slope, blooming in their pool like ink. Guests screamed, laughter died, Tyler raged, pointing at my house. Claire and Paul's horror was priceless. Then Tyler's phone rang, panicked parents demanding answers. More calls flooded in. Paul's face turned crimson. The party collapsed, guests fleeing. By Monday, Tyler was suspended from university. Parents' demands forced the Harrisons to liquidate assets, their reputation shredded. They accused me of vandalism, but my blueprints proved my system was legal. The police called it a civil matter. Tyler, stripped of his SUV, left looking broken, his glare hollow as I watered my lawn. My sanctuary is peaceful again, Ethan and Maya's laughter unburdened. The Harrisons' curtains stay drawn. They started a war over a pool, unable to stomach our success. They drowned in their own arrogance, and I built the guillotine.